Hello there. Welcome to your program Security Reports, where we get you informed, educated, enlightened, and most importantly updated on security issues anywhere it is happening. I remain yours and only Ernest Enuneku.
And I still remain Shirley Daniels.
Well, your program today will be bringing you here at the spot in Makurdi, Benue State. Now, a lot has been said about Benue State in recent times. We are here to find out what is happening. Shirley.
Yes, Benue State, for one thing, Benue State is known as the food basket of the nation. Benue State is also known for producing food, not just for Benue State, but other surrounding states.
Even Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria.
They're the main source of food for Nigeria.
Yes, but then, Ernest, like you said, a lot of things has been happening in Benue State. Talk about the farmers headers clashes that has happened. We talk about a lot of things has happened. And then we went to the street too to talk to the people of Benue State to see how they feel, and then what most of the security agencies have done so far in order to make sure that peace is restored back in the state.
I tell you, our visit to Benue State actually revealed a lot of things. Now, we were told what the Nigerian Army have done to ensure that peace returns to Benue State. We were on the street, like she said earlier, to feel the pulse of the people. What is their take on security concerning Makurdi, Benue State? Let's get you some of what they have to say now.
We had a lot of security challenge. Particularly, we have the issue of herdsmen and farmers. Then we have internal crisis. Again, all this is taking place at the same time. To God be the glory. The army came in through the help of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Burate. They came and deployed their people to make sure that there's peace. I will tell you that even the farmers who could not go back to their, who were not able to go to their farm, are back to their farm now. And again, most recently, we had challenges of the Jukun and Thief crisis. I personally led a protest in Abuja. I was on national televisions, Channel, TVC, AIT, and NTA to let the world know that this is what was happening. To God be the glory. We are not hearing about those crises again because the army intervened immediately and there's peace in those areas now. We hope that it will be better more. Let me tell you, I must be honest with you, I appreciate the army so much, led by the Chief of Army Staff. For introducing the Anyima Patuma is a Thief language. For you to choose Thief language as to be named as after the exercise that was going to be taking place in the north central Nigeria, that exercise helped us so much. It was an exercise that was helped in bringing to an end between the farmers and herdsmen crisis. And I will tell you that they achieved a lot, so much in that area. The second phase of it, I think, is going to be wonderful. We will not be talking about any security challenge again. It's welcome. I will be here to welcome them. I will be here to mobilize so that we will give them an overwhelming reception, because we have confidence in the Nigerian Army. They have lived up to expectation. Let me appreciate the Army Chief particularly. He has exceeded the expectation of the Chief of Army Staff. Our expectations has totally been exceeded. The things we expected he was going to do, he has done more than what we expected. So I think only God Almighty that will reward him for what he has been doing across the country. Benue State was on national discourse, not in positive light, in the matter that has to do with insecurity. But today I can tell you, people are in their farms. We are not hearing the crisis anymore. And it's only the army that have the capacity and the power to do that, which they are able to do. So I appreciate them so much. The exercise phase 2 will be wonderful. We are going to try that. We are going to give them their support, all, to make sure they succeed.
I want to assure you that there is relative peace since the intervention from the Operation Wire Stroke. It was initially the other situational operation from the military. But I want to assure you that this present one, Operation Wire Stroke, has yielded much help to the communities of Benue State. And I want to believe that it will continue in order to dissuade people from the perception that Fulani usually attacks us during when it is dry season. You know, their cattle cannot graze during rainy season because of waterlogged areas. But we are believing that with the operation, and we want to believe it will be concerted, the effort will be concerted enough to make sure the crisis are averted to a appreciable level that people can go back to their ancestral homes without fear.
Basically, we've had a whole lot of security challenges from more axis of Kwande. That is basically a border, more of a border community. And so we would have a whole lot of these criminals or criminal elements coming from that axis to attack our people in Jatoaka and surrounding communities. Basically, that was what we had. They will just come, beat up the residents, the farmers, and take over their land and allow their animals to just graze there. And that's basically what we were facing in that area. It was more of a very terrible security situation in that area, where they would just come, beat up the people, kill them, leave our people homeless and stuff like that. The Nigerian Army came and pushed out the criminal elements, and a whole lot of stability has been achieved in that area now. Because before the coming of the Nigerian Army, like I said earlier, these people will come and beat us, and the people were completely helpless until the Nigerian Army came and they restored peace, stability, and a whole lot of order in that area. So I think the Nigerian Army has done a whole lot for us in that area, especially for those of us who come from that area that was being hit by these criminal elements. We are very grateful to the Nigerian Army because their coming into the picture has restored the peace and brought a whole lot of stability in Kwande local government.
It was terrible that people were first of all scared, very, very scared, that even to go to the market to buy something, parents had to stop their children from going to school. Women going to the market, it was as if the men would go to the market. But as soon as the military steps in, everything subsides. And I want to use this opportunity to thank Nigerian military so much for coming to the aid of the Nigerian people. Of course, that is the primary responsibility of the military, to protect the Nigerian people, even though it was internal affairs and the police couldn't handle it. So the areas that were not accessible during the insecurity, as soon as they steps in, people started going to those areas, even in farms. In fact, me, I operate a rice farm around the Lower Benue and Fadama. It was inaccessible, but as soon as they steps in, we were able to access our farm and start cultivating. So in all, as soon as they stepped in, it was okay.
Activities of the militia called the S-Men in Agatu local government before was terrible. It's all over the news, really killing every day. But today, because of the coming in of Nigerian Army, everything has been resolved. There is peace. Everybody has returned back to their farm. There is no more DIP camps in the Idoma-speaking part of Benue State right now. There is a peace in Idoma-speaking part of Benue because of the coming of Nigerian Army to resolve the issue between the S-Men and the villagers. So there is a peace now in Agatu.
We have a lot of insecurity issues in Benue State before. Now, like I said, my local government was not exceptional. We used to have issues of herdsmen attacks, our communities, and push out of our villages. Before we heard that the federal government deployed the security in our state, the Operation White Stroke, Operation Ayema Patuma, all of these have helped us a lot. Now we can see people going back to their villages doing their own normal activities. Like in local government, in fact, all of the local governments in Benue State, most of the local government were affected by these issues. But now we can see that at least it's better, like before. Like the issue of herdsmen, which is the most common one in Benue State. Although we have other issues of insecurity as well, but this is the most common one. But now we can see that it's better as compared to the olden days. So it's better now in our state.
Fulani, they were killing people everywhere, but now it's better. They are not killing again.
Before the army came into Benue State, there was a serious problem between farmers and herdsmen. But after the army came and go, we are experiencing good. We are sleeping, we are living well, we are not experiencing crisis again. We are enjoying it. We are enjoying our environment, we are enjoying our community.
It used to be so bad. It used to be so bad. You know, most of the times people don't sleep at all, you know, because people are just out there waiting for what will come, you know. But since the military stepped in, there was some kind of fear that hovered in the air. Fear not for the people living there, but for those who come to do the things that they used to do. Killing the people, raping our women, killing little children, and just slaughtering everything at sight. So when the army came in, all of that went away, and there has been relative peace all through this time. Very relative peace. I would just hope that they don't get to go away, so that the peace we're enjoying right now can continue for a very, very long time.
Yes, there was a terrible security situation in the Ikwande local government where I came from. We had the issue, prominent the issue of Fulani herdsmen and the issue of armed robbery, kidnapping, and some other social vices. Yeah, we experienced a relative peace when there was exercise, military intervention, exercise, Ayema Patuma, also known as cat race. Yes, and the second one, which was the wide stroll. Yeah, there was a relative calm, although much is expected from the Nigerian military if they are coming for the second time to come and combat such social vices we are saying. Like the issue of Fulani herdsmen has released minimum. It's just that some other parts of Kwande, like a complete council ward, Fulani herdsmen have taken over the local government, and the case of security crime rate has reduced to the barest minimum. If you can go to Ajikpo, you can go to Jatuaka, and some other big town cities in Kwande local government, you know that there is a relative calm. So we commend the Nigerian Army for keeping to the promise, not only protecting Nigeria from the external aggression, but also the internal security challenges.
When the Nigerian Army came in, when there was crisis between the Benue farmers and the Fulani cattle areas, there was a lot of destruction. Properties were destroyed, people were killed. But with the intervention of the Nigerian Army, we recorded tremendous peace. Peace came in Benue State. Our farmers were able to return back to their various farms and carry out their farming activities. People were no longer killed. So sincerely speaking, when they came, peace returned to Benue State because the governor of Benue State, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Otom, cordially, work with them. They work simultaneously and ensure that the military men were well taken care of and the crisis was put to rest.
Welcome back from those interviews. I'm sure you will agree with me that we must say kudos to the Nigerian Army and other security agencies for ensuring peace returns to Benue State. You can see behind us, things are happening. People are going about their normal daily activities. I tell you, Benue State, Makurdi is a place to be, surely.
Yes, I think one thing I know I will do before leaving this state is to make sure that I gather all the food, all the fruits so far and go back to home.
All right, let's move over right now to Anambra State. The Nigerian police had the PPRO conference. They had it in Awka, and security report was there. We covered the closing ceremony of that conference where the Inspector General of Police, talking about IGP Mohammed Adamu, was there personally to close the conference. And he also told us how important that meeting was for him as a person, surely.
Yes, in fact, he mentioned how, in fact, Ernest, the funny thing is that most of those PPROs there, he knew them personally because they have, yes, he has worked with them before. And then for me, the touching part of that program was the fact, that this PPRO, so to say, should I call them the image makers of the Nigerian police? Yes, and it is. In fact, that conference was a timely one. It came at the right time because the image of the Nigerian police so far, yeah, we hear cliches here and there, you know, what the Nigerian police are going, but then we need a PPRO to be up there, you know, with top gear, doing their job very well.
Image is very important for every institution, and I'm very sure that is why the IGP, through the office of the Force Public Relations Officer, had to bring this conference to update, to upgrade.
Exactly, upgrade. That's the word.
All the PPROs in the Federation. Let's get to you the closing ceremony of that particular conference now.
Proper information management experts say is very essential to the survival of any group, society, institutions, and even nations, as this could either help develop or destroy the existence of those concerned. The Nigerian Police Force, an institution saddled with the responsibility of providing internal security for the over 200 million Nigerians, no doubt, daily faces the challenge of managing information that gets out to the members of the public, especially with the advent of social media. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Muhammad Abubakar Adamu, has reiterated his determination to fully implement his community policing strategy geared towards ensuring that every part of Nigeria is properly secured. In line with his vision, IGP Adamu, through the Office of the Force Public Relations Officer, organized his second Police Public Relations Conference in Anambra State, Southeast Nigeria, to bring the Information Department of the Police Force up to speed with current community policing realities. The conference with the theme, Public Relations Strategies and Communication Skill, is aimed at enhancing the human capacity of officers whose responsibility it is to manage the image and information dissemination of the police force in a bid to reposition the police force and make it more community-friendly. The 4-day conference was attended by all the police public relations officers from the 12 zonal commands, 36 state commands across Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Command, and staffs of the Force Public Relations Department. At the closing ceremony of the conference, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Muhammad Abubakar Adamu, while addressing the participants, admonished them to apply the techniques they have been taught positively on the image of the Nigerian police force.
Now, as PROs, we know you are supposed to protect the image of the force. That is your primary responsibility. But there are some stories or news that you hear coming out to defend the force will rather aggravate the situation. In such situation, you study and see whether you should respond or not. If it is better not to respond, don't respond. Even if you are called upon to comment, don't respond. And if you don't respond, the originators of the news, fake news, or the stories will be disappointed and be frustrated. Because sometimes when they want to hear something from us, and they try to get it and we say nothing, then they'll come up with a story against you, so that you come out and deny it. They try to deny it, you give the correct version. Is it not? So as they are skilled, we too, we should be skilled.
The Force Public Relations Officer, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Frank Umba, and the former Force Public Relations Officer, CP Emmanuel Ojukwu, retired, spoke to Security Watch Africa on the need for the conference and the expectation from participants at the conference.
In an environment where the landscape of crimes and criminality are constantly evolving and changing, where the dynamics of crime and security challenges are constantly changing, and where even the geographical mapping of crimes are also changing at jet speed. You need to have police spokespersons that are proactive, police spokespersons that understand the import of crisis prevention as well as crisis management. You need police spokespersons that will be able to key into the emerging technology, the emerging new media, to be able to manage the challenges of fake news and also effectively create their own content, communicate with their stakeholders, and help in correcting some of the old stereotypes, views about the police. And that's why we are here. So it is essentially a capacity building workshop. It's essentially designed to equip the police officers with modern tools of public relations and communications. It's an opportunity for them to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
What has happened in the past 4 days was to bring them up to speed with current developments and about global best practices. I'm confident the officers have got a lot of equipment. Their skills have been honed on how to make their jobs better to the service of the nation and humanity in general.
High point of the conference was the issuance of certificates to participants by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Adamu.
Okay, welcome back from Anambra State. We have to say kudos to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Abubakar Adamu, with the people so far that he was able to, the people he called on to make sure that this program, came to life.
Especially Frank Mba, the first.
I know, because he's your friend. Anyways, moving forward, we are taking you back to the city of Abuja, where the National Assembly, the NAS, visited, paid a courtesy visit to the Chief of Army Staff, the person of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, to commend him and his men for the job well done. NS, you were there.
Yeah, this meeting was very apt and it was very timely. The leadership of the Senate, talking about the committee for the Nigerian Army and the committee for the Nigerian Army also at the House of Representatives, were at the Nigerian Army headquarters in Abuja. They paid a courtesy visit to the Chief of Army Staff to tell him. They actually went out. They went around the country. Yes, to see the effects of the Nigerian Army, what they are doing in the northeast and other parts of the country.
And I think at this point, one thing, before you come out and make your pronunciation, before you judge, you should go out to this place. I think journalists should go out to these places and see what is happening. The Nigerian Army, our soldiers are really trying. I, for one, I've been to one of. NS, you are there too. We've been to one of the plantations and we've seen the war front. It is not an easy one. So we want to say, in fact, for me, the National Assembly did well. At least if they want to come out tomorrow, like one of them said, anyway, let me not say because they will say he's my brother.
Well, the truth is this: our soldiers are doing a very, very remarkable job out there in the northeast and some other parts of the country. The National Assembly Committee on the Nigerian Army had to go to these places to see for themselves. They had closed sessions with the soldiers and they told them all they needed, all they've been going through. And I tell you, we must say kudos. Let's get you that courtesy visit
right away.
The transformational agenda of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai for the Nigerian Army, which is aimed at taking the army back to the people through his vision of having a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional role, was recently commended by the Joint Army Committees of the National Assembly. The leadership and members of both the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on the Nigerian Army, following security challenges bedeviling the country, went on a fact-finding mission, needs assessment and its usual oversight function to ascertain firsthand the role played by the Nigerian Army in ensuring that peace returns to all the troubled zones in the country, particularly the northeastern parts of Nigeria. After touring selected states across the Federation, visiting front lines and having private sessions with soldiers and officers, and also interacting with relevant stakeholders in the communities visited, the leadership of the team paid a courtesy visit on the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, at the Army Headquarters Abuja, especially as it concerns funding of the Army.
After going around, the last spot we went was to witness the POP of Zaria Depot. We decided that today we'll come here and have a chat to report back as to what we have seen. And since this is the center and the headquarters, we need to talk and see the way forward, especially at this critical time when the budget of the Nigerian Army and, of course, the national budget is under consideration. That for what we have seen so far, we are very, very proud of the Nigerian Army. Honestly, what you have done there, I would have preferred NAMDAS to make that comment, because in my own case, if I talk too much, they will say, oh, it's because he's brother. That is the normal Nigeria. But what is on ground there, and what we have seen in Zaria, in Maiduguri, everywhere, and we go by side to interview your officers, confidentially, and the report we are receiving is very, very encouraging.
We are supposed to be oversighting you, and we are very impressed with the way the professionalism of the Nigerian soldiers and Nigerian Army. We are very much impressed. When we saw for ourselves, even little efforts, not even by the Chief of Army Staff, even by the Commander Theater, he tried to see how he can be able to produce some. He showed us certain vehicles that they've tried. And here, I recollected, we went to the trade fair. We have seen how independently being able to source your own resources to do MRAF and other machines on your own. And if you can look inwards, that means that we will go in a lot of places. We cannot wait. The world is moving forward, and you people are moving along with the world. We encourage you to continue to make use of your Army Engineer Corps and your other professional officers to continue to produce the little weapons you can be able to do.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, thanked the committee for taking out time to visit some of the Army formations and divisions across the country. He said it shows how sensitive the National Assembly is to the yearnings of the citizens of the country. Lieutenant General Buratai, however, solicited for more cooperations from the National Assembly, especially on the issue of funding for the Nigerian Army.
What you saw in the field is a true reflection of the Nigerian Army of today. They are professional, they are committed, they are disciplined, they are loyal. We've taken bold steps, not only in expanding the Nigerian Army in terms of its order of battle and number of formations and units that have been created. We've also embarked on a number of renovations, reconstruction, and the construction of new edifices to ensure our officers and soldiers and their families live in a befitting accommodation. Although we still have a lot to do, which I believe you have seen also, we still need more accommodation. We need still more of those facilities to be fixed. But at the same time, our training efforts are also very high since 2015. We've exposed so many officers to training both at home and abroad. And we've also embarked local training, as you all know. Since 2015, 2016, was no quarter that we've not conducted training exercises from Harbin Kunama to Python Dance, now at Chilogo Udo, to Crocodile Smile, Ayam Apatuma, and a host of other exercises, including simulation exercises. as well as the training and recruitment for enlisted or young or soldiers and also commissioning of officers. Funding is quite critical to all our activities, including national activities. So you've taken the bold step by the proposal to have an independent or separate funding channel for the armed forces, the Nigerian Army in particular, in the National Assembly. If that one is achieved, be rest assured, we will do our best.
Lieutenant General Burata assured the committee of the resolve of the Nigerian Army under his watch to ensure that every part of the country is safe and secured for law-abiding citizens to go about their daily endeavors.
Yeah, welcome back from that meeting. Now, we'll be moving straight away to Maiduguri. Maiduguri. Security report actually visited the Shehu of Borno. We needed to find out from him, as a very, very strong leader in the northeast there, what is his take concerning what is happening in Maiduguri right now. We spoke with him and he told us some things that have been happening. He told us the efforts the Nigerian Army have been doing and how peaceful Maiduguri is today. Let's get you that meeting with the Shehu of Borno now.
Borno State, one of Nigeria's agrarian and commercial states that has contributed greatly to the food security of Nigerians, with its people standing out as one of the finest farmers in the northern part of the country, until the emergence of the dreaded terrorist sect Boko Haram in the year 2009. The people of Borno State woke up to a new order that has left many dead, hundreds of thousands displaced, and destructions of properties worth billions of naira. The story today is different, as life is gradually returning back to most of the deserted communities in the state, all thanks to the Nigerian Army under the leadership of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, who, though is an indigene of the state, has ensured that the terrorist sect is degraded and brought to its knees. A visit by Security Watch Africa to Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, and some neighboring communities, one could see the usual hustling and bustling that characterizes any city anywhere in Nigeria. It was indeed a proof that the Nigerian Army has successfully degraded the dreaded terrorist sect Boko Haram. The story of how Boko Haram became very vicious and bloodthirsty has been told by a lot of persons, giving their own version to a movement that later became Nigeria's greatest nightmare. It was nothing compared to what the country had ever experienced. We met with the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Umagaba El Kanemi, who told us how it all started.
Because when this thing was started, government at that time invited all the traditional rulers and directed that we should compile the list of all these useless boys through our district heads and village head and bring it. We compiled it, we brought it to the government, the military, the SSS, police, and all of them. Then one of these national media, they show it that there is injustice, human violence, and all these things. They showed it in the television. Then these useless boys were set free because of the so-called injustice, as they have said by the media. So human rights violation and all this. So these boys are set free. So they started identifying our district head, village head, that they are the one who made for their arrest. Then they started killing our people, one after another. About 200 of my district head, village head, community leaders were gunned down. Even these palace guards and courtiers, even my drum makers and all this, they are all killed. Our people are even forced to run away. You see, I decided to remain alone. There's nowhere I have gone at that time. And all my traveling, even at this very serious eve of Boko Haram, I used to go by road, day and night. I don't mind, because nobody will kill somebody unless Allah has destined. So my belief is on that.
What was done differently? How was it possible to push back this dreaded sect that has left untold hardship on the people of the state and northeastern parts of Nigeria?
We are subjected to so many difficulties. Before his coming, most of the local governments are even under control of Boko Haram. But with Buratai as the chief officer, there's no single local government under control of Boko Haram now. They are all under control of Nigeria. And with his coming, we maintain very good cordial relationship with the military. In my local, in the village level and district level, they used to form security committee meeting from time to time, discuss issues and report to the local government and state government and to us. And the good side of it is that even if there's anything anywhere in any of the local governments which I have now controlled, they can immediately write to me or call me telling me that this is what we have seen, this is what we have had, possible threat of attack and all this is. Immediately when I get such a receipt, I will quickly inform. Even weekends time, I used to report to the appropriate authorities and they will act promptly. And one of the good side of it, which I'll never forget and always fresh in my mind, is that with his coming now, military are alive to their responsibilities and they have been abided by their professional records. But before that, if we leak information, if we provide information, it will leak. A very senior military officer, I could remember, a Boko Haram was apprehended about 6 years back or so. Then one of my districts informed me that we were able to identify one Boko Haram, very big Boko Haram member and all this. The district called me. I quickly informed the GOC, brigade commander at that time. I know his name, but he's dead, I know, he was dead. So I told him that this is the information I got, if there's any possible assistance they can do. Quite okay, they went there, they apprehended that criminal, but unfortunately, the following morning, that's in the media, I was quoted that I provided the information. So people become very skeptical of providing information, being that such critical information, vital information should be leaked by such professional people. But now all this is a story of the past. People are now alive to their responsibility. They are cooperate with us. And we also thank to the soldiers, the military, what they have been doing to us, because everywhere they are there. Anybody who talks nonsense of the military, honestly, he's just saying nonsense, because I could remember when I was going to Biu for the commissioning of Nigerian Army School. Throughout from Damboa, from Mole, up to Damboa, up to Biu, we have been seeing military everywhere. Unlike like before where you cannot see anybody. But now everywhere they are there. In the night, you can see people patrolling, you can hear gunshots here and there. If you say what happened, they say soldiers are patrolling, soldiers are doing their responsibilities, which are very good. So we thank him very much. He's son of the sun. He has done so many things to the people of Borno. We are very grateful. And the good side of it is also, I'll never forget that he has a very high respect and regard to the traditional institutions.
The Nigerian army, having done what most advanced countries are still battling to do, is expected to soon bring the issue of insecurity to an end in all troubled areas in the country.
All right, welcome back from Maiduguri. You could hear from the horse's mouth the Sheikh of Borno himself. Because for me, I think if the Nigerian army is not doing well, as a leader, I don't think he will come out and start saying opposite, from a leader and from a fatherly point of view. I think we should believe. And for once, we were there, like he said, and we saw Borno was actually a busy state. There was a lot of traffic. There were nightlife. Even their nightlights were there as you went out at some point in the night. Anyways, I want to say thank you to the Chief of Army Staff for making sure that Maiduguri is also safe. Now, moving forward, we were in Owerri, in Imo State.
Yeah, the happening place, I must tell you.
And I see the Imo State, for me, sometimes they're like, when they mention Imo State, I was like, is this another Las Vegas in Nigeria, But then we visited one of the hotels in Imo State, but Imo State is known for its hospitality
industry. I tell you, entertainment, hospitality, go to Imo State. I'm not campaigning, Shah. I'm just saying what I saw.
Are you sure? Are you sure those guys are not taking over?
No, I'm just saying what I saw.
Okay. Now we had an interview with one of the people and some of the staff in Glorian suit, and this is what they have to say.
Now we must also say at this point too that it was very key. Now because of the season, the season, the festive season, people would want to go out, and we were very curious on security.
Exactly.
If I leave my home, I'm going to a hotel or for any lucration, I should be safe. So we went there to find out how is their security like.
Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to have you here today. Thank you. Now, we've been moving around, like we came into the city of Owerri in Imo State, and then going around, for me, this is my first time of being in Owerri. So, and then I've heard a lot about Owerri, like people talk about Owerri, like as if it is one big city, as if, you're going to Las Vegas and all that. Now, what can you please tell us about Owerri?
My name is Harmony, and I am a resident in Owerri. Owerri is known for entertainment. Entertainment at its peak. When you talk about entertainment in Owerri, you have one of the best resorts, you have one of the best hotels here in Owerri. You have one of the best jacuzzis. I think there are jacuzzis which you've not heard of. But talk about our steel beds. When you take a look at the hospitality in Owerri, it's a home away from home. Owerri is a place where you come, you see the atmosphere very clear, very clearly. You have a peace of mind. Not talk of the security in Owerri is a top notch. You have one of the best hands in securities. The security agencies have been of a good standard. When you take a look at other cities, other cities are known for crime, but in Owerri, not minding the hospitality that is in it, the kind of caliber of people that Owerri attracts, but you see low level of security issues in Owerri. And Owerri has, both the state government and the East agencies, they've been of good hands in Owerri.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that part of security, which is actually my interest here. If I should live where I am, knowing fully well, okay, I'm safe and all that, at least I should be heading to somewhere I also know is also safe, or rather still safer. Now, here in Gloran Hotel,
an event place.
We kind of notice your security. You people are kind of security conscious. Can you please tell us what measures you have put in place to make sure the people, the guests that come into this place, feel safe? Please, Ms. Juliet.
Thank you very much for the question. For the security, as my colleague have explained one or two things and also mentioned security, let me just start saying, in every organization, or before one think about establishing an organization like this or to this standard, first of all, security have to be number one. Because hospitality is all about tourism. Hospitality is not established by people that is only in Owerri or that based only in Owerri. We have people from abroad, different countries coming, and at times before they arrive, they make sure some people Google. Some people go through internet, they Google. Some people send their friends, maybe through events, through all kinds of things, They say, like the last time here, we hosted the Hero people, even people from the New York, we hosted the Hero people, so they took this place as their...
Wow, for you to host such caliber of people, that means your standard
then
of
after
security.
that incident, we host the policemen, even from the northern states, Abuja, Lagos state, about 40 of them.
Okay.
Then after that, other ones have been coming, even the armies from this our barrack. So once they come, they'll say, like you pointed out our camera and all that. Then we'll try as much as possible to make sure that any guest that stepped into this place will follow the person, whether you're alone or you coming with somebody or somebody came to check you. First of all, if two people are in the room and one stepped out, first of all, we have to go and check, call, allow the person to be at the front office, engage him or her with one or two discussions. Then the porter will have to go. Then the IT man have to also monitor through our CCTV.
Just to make sure that the
Make
person
sure that
in the room is okay.
inside is very, very safe.
Okay.
Because a lot of things is happening.
Yeah.
Though we don't pray to have any, and we will not have any, because we know that
Definitely.
our security, both inside and outside, is 100% secured.
That was a wonderful, I must say it's a very good one to start with,
Thank you very much.
You see, the thing is, we have issues of places where sometimes we have guests being murdered in the hotel room. Sometimes we have issues of guests, maybe there are some valuables being taken away, and all that. Have you people experienced such thing in Gloran?
Though what you said is fact, is raining. I think, let me just say, is what is raining now. But in Gloran Hotel and Event Place, we have not had such scene or problem or complaint, and we don't pray having it, because in everything you do in life, you use God as a pillar. So here we use God as though it's a hospitality industry, but the foundation lies as in we build it on God's rock. So, and when you call God first in anything you are doing, I think such a thing you only hear it, you will never see it happening in your place. Then coming to the items, we have never seen a guest that checked out or maybe probably called and said he's looking for his valuable items. Then if such occurs, maybe the guest, that is why most times they come down, we ask them, excuse me, madam or sir, please can you wait, let the porter go confirm your room. At times they will be in a haste to leave, at times some will get that patience to stay. You see them finding one or like charger, earpiece. Even there was a time someone forgot his iPad and the man was saying wow and all that.
So he came back and
he came back and
like intact and
yes,
everything.
and when it comes to employment, you don't just employ because you want people. You employ one experienced staff, you employ people that have self-control, you employ people that things doesn't really move. Sure, you get it. No matter how little or big it is, they can stand, no matter the condition or whatever.
You make sure your staff, the staff you get are people who are already contented, who are honest and all that.
Exactly, and maturity both upstairs and physical. As the HR of Gloran Hotel and Event Place, so we look at it as in those points that makes a staff or an employee, to withstand because at times a guest might even say, I'm leaving. You never knew, or I'm checking out. You never knew that he plotted some cash, to know. Or yes, whether these people are okay or they train thieves and stuff like that. Or even at times the MD might even send someone and say, do this and see
what's going to happen.
At the end of the day, the person might go back and say, wow, your HR and the staff, they are really wonderful. So we have not had such experience and we don't pray to have them.
Okay, now Mr. Harmony, we meant to understand that you are in the IT department. Now, being in the IT department, what would you tell us? What kind of facilities do you have to make sure that your security is top notch?
In Gloran Hotel and Event, there's been the IT manager of this noble establishment who put in security measures of high standard. Starting from our entrance, we have the best electronic barrier gates in vogue, which was bought from China. As you are stepping into the gates, it electronically scans whatever you are coming with your car, whether there is any arm on it, it will detect it immediately and send signal to us. We have our security cameras all over the place. The security cameras are top notch, and it gets audio of every conversation that is being made, and it has the capacity to record for up to 31 days. The hard disk are top quality, and we also have other security agencies who we partner with when there is any issue which we have not recorded so far. And from time to time they come for checkup. Like we have our report which we normally send to them every morning. As soon as a guest is checking in, we take the person's data. That's talking about both your registration number, the car that enters, we take down the registration number of every vehicle that steps into this compound, and we always submit the security report to the police, the CIA, every morning, so that they can be updated in case of any event. And on our own part, we try to have one of the best staffs and one of the internal securities whom, as you are stepping in, they are observing you. They observe every movement of staff. Owerri, yes, Owerri is known for hospitality, and it's also known for most dubious crimes. People will see it as an avenue for them to come and have quiet time, or if possible, run away from the police situation and everything. So such situations, we have the best security, internal security at hand, who always monitors the guests we have. It's not everybody that you are allowed to hotel, because most of them might end up implicating the hotel, thereby giving the hotel a bad name. You know, there is what we call goodwill. A goodwill is like a good name. In Gloran Hotel, we are conscious of our name. We are known as hospitality with a divine presence, in the sense we allow God to take control. Most times you see in each floor we have our worship songs. Early in the morning, the worship song, you see them always on. Why? Because we want people to be encouraged. Let them not see hospitality as a place of immorality. No. In Gloran Hotel, it's a place, we call it a home from away from home. So that when you come, you feel relaxed. You will not have any issue of, one of my items must get missing, even to the point that even if you have external people visiting you, we take note of anybody that is coming to visit you. Most times before the person comes to your room, you have to come to confirm. And the receptionist will have our book, because we need to ask the guest for his or her name. Thereby we take note of the person that, this person went to see room 311. As the person is also coming down, before the person steps out of the hotel, the receptionist will have to call you to confirm if they
just like your colleague said.
Yeah, if they should allow the person to go, or if there was anything. So that most times information, we're always conscious of the information we get from our staff, from our guests, and from everybody.
Mr. Harmony, you mentioned your camera being keeping records for 31 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Now, after 31 days, what happens to these visuals, to these clips, to those video clips that the camera has recorded? Do you have like a backup somewhere you keep this thing, like a disc or a flash or something where you still keep the visuals of that month, or after 31 days it just erases and nothing else?
As you all know, we are in a digital world, and I can tell you that our CCTV camera is not just to be on the screen. It's connected even in my office, on my desktop. I can see the cameras and the recording. Even on my phone, is connected on my network, where I can easily have access to it, whether I'm in the hotel or I'm outside the hotel. And now what do? In my system, I have a backup drive. It doesn't even record. No, I'm not talking about, I have a DVR that has its own record. On my own personal, I have a backup drive, where I always take my records every day to that drive. Not minding the other one on the DVR. After 31 days, it takes the next one out in order to accommodate a new one. But on my own side, we have our backup drive where we have to take the record. Even my director that is not around always take record of every activity in the hotel. Even from outside, he can see his hotel. He can know what is going on in his establishment with only his phone. No sense. He always call, look at this camera, it's not too clear. You have to fix it immediately. We are always conscious. It's not just about me. It's about the director, the MD of this place. He is a very man that is very, very conscious of security conscious. He doesn't stay in Nigeria, but he knows what security is all about. So he gives us the capable hand in order to have the best record, even with his own. He has his own record, whereby even if anything happens to the hotel, just call him. We say, okay, hold on, just give me a minute. He will go back to his phone, or he will go back to his iPad to get
So you people
information.
have a backup. You have where you put up all this.
It's not just one. I have mine. He has his.
Oh, okay. Now, Ms. Juliet, sometimes we have incidents whereby, like you said, you don't pray for any bad incidents to occur in your place of work. But in a situation whereby it happens, let's say, for example, somebody committed a crime in this hotel. Now, do you have to start calling maybe one of the security agencies, let's say the police, to come by, or you have security men already stand by at the hotel?
Like, let's assume that such a thing comes up. We start from the policemen will have there, the security men will have there, the MOPE men will have there. Not just having a MOPE or security men, we also deal with their company. Like, we have our own security. We also employ from the security department, which will pay them extra money to make sure that things is well or properly handled. So if such a thing occurs, first of all, let's assume a guest is in the room and is looking for a particular thing, money, iPad, name it. So first of all, we'll call the housekeeping, that cleaned the room, the supervisor that signed the room. Then from there, we proceed to our IT manager, which is Harmony, to also, or first of all, we'll ask the person, did you see or did you not see? You not say no or yes. So for us to have that clarification, you have to go to the IT manager, to play the CCTV. So from that CCTV, everything will be. So if the housekeeping is one that took it, we will know. If the man has a guest or the woman has a guest, the CCTV will also know. But if they are still in the house, maybe probably any one of them wants to go out, we will not allow such guests or such staff to go until things are well settled. So we have our own Gloran security, and also we have outside security men that guides this place.
Welcome back from Owerri. We are still here in Makurdi. In case you forgot it, we are still here in Makurdi, Benue State, where you can see behind us a lot is happening. People are going about and daily activities. You see traffic everywhere. I tell you, Makurdi is a place to visit. We must say once again, kudos to the Nigerian Army and other security agencies for ensuring peace returns back to Makurdi and indeed the entire Benue State.
Ernest, before we go for the day, we want to also use this opportunity to call on the government to look into the roads.
Yeah, the roads.
The roads are actually terrible. Part of security, our roads is part of security. If we don't have good roads, trust me, criminals, hoodlums use the bad spot to carry out whatever activities they feel like they want to carry out. So, unless you saw how dilapidated the roads are.
If you observe right now, my spirit is down because I tell you, this season is a season people travel a lot and our roads are death trap. We are calling on the federal government to please do more than they are doing now to ensure, even as people are traveling around for the Christmas and the Yellowtide season, that their trip will not be a hell.
NS is terrible. It's terrible. I don't know for you, but for me the roads are terrible.
I believe someone is hearing us as we speak right now. We must leave for other programs to continue. Remember, this is your program Security Reports. Until you come your way again next week, I remain yours and only Ernest Enune.
And don't forget to buy your fruits. And I, Shirley Daniels.
Bye-bye.